Today will be remembered as one of the darkest days in human history because David Vonderhaar is leaving Call of Duty. Okay, that might be a bit of an exaggeration, but it's definitely one of the darker days for the Call of Duty community. Lads, I woke up and saw this tweet and it immediately made me sad. The absolute legend, our Lord and Savior Vonderhaar, David, after 18 years and making 8 Call of Duty games, is moving on to explore new opportunities. There is more information about this if we go to his LinkedIn page. He's still got the old picture on his LinkedIn. Yes, since I'm not signed in, we'll just go to Charlie and tell him to look at this. Okay, so here's his full post. Today I am sharing that I have left Activision and Treyarch after an incredible 18 years and 8 Call of Duty games. To my co-workers at Treyarch, I am immensely grateful for the time we invested working to improve our craft, never sitting on successes, and always wondering how to improve what we design and how we produce it. Thank you to the Call of Duty community for your passion and enthusiasm. That energy has often fueled our determination as a studio and individuals. I will always be grateful for the opportunity to interact with so many of you directly and in person. This energy will always be a massive part of me. I am staying in the games industry, working on an undisclosed project I can't discuss yet, but I'm excited about a rare and unique opportunity. I'll update you as soon as possible. David/Vaughn. Dude, this is killing me. I hate that I have to make this video right now. This is genuinely upsetting news. It feels like it really is the end of an era for Call of Duty. When you have someone like David Vonderhaar, who's, you know, like a senior talent, who's worked on Call of Duty for almost 2 decades. To see him leave Treyarch and to stop working on Call of Duty, it really does feel like it's the end of an era. Charlie Intel did have a follow-up tweet that also just points out the games that Vonderhaar worked on. He had started with Call of Duty 2 Big Red 1, all the way up until Black Ops Cold War. But I mean, as far as it goes for the in-between games, it's all Treyarch games, obviously. So we're talking about COD 3, World at War, Black Ops 1, 2, 3, and 4 as well. But going back to his original post, I do want to try to look ahead and try to figure out what he's actually going to be working on next. Like, what is he going to be doing? So he specifically said he's staying in the games industry, so it's safe to assume that whatever he's going to be doing next, it will be related to video games. He says he's working on an undisclosed project and he can't discuss it yet, but it's a rare and unique opportunity. Now, granted, this is still some pretty fresh news. By the time this video goes up, he could put out another update, although I think it's, you know, potentially unlikely. It could take some time before he actually gives us more updates about what he's going to be working on next. But from some of the discussion that I've seen on Twitter, I've seen some people potentially hinting at the idea that David Vonderhaar might go to work on X-Defiant next, which I think is actually unlikely because he said here specifically that he's working on an undisclosed project. I'm going to assume that this is something that hasn't even been announced yet, as he said that he can't discuss it. If he was going to work on X-Defiant, he could probably have publicly announced that right now. Now, this is just my speculation, but I think it could be possible that Vondy could be going to work at Deviation Games. For those that might not know, there's actually a lot of ex-Treyarch employees that went to go form their own studio called Deviation Games, and they are currently working on a AAA game in partnership, I think, with PlayStation, but the actual video game itself has not been disclosed. It hasn't been announced yet, and there's not a lot of info behind it. It's actually been kind of kept under wraps. It's pretty secretive. So if anything, I'm led to believe that that could be where David Vonderhaar could be going next. But we'll have to wait and see. I mean, he's not disclosing it. We don't have all of that info yet, but that's just my best guess. Just from looking at the replies on Twitter, it seems like a lot of people in the Call of Duty community are going to miss Vondy. Obviously, myself included. I mean, Vondy was just, he's a staple of the Black Ops sub-series. It's insane. I feel like so many amazing memes and so many great memories were associated with Vonderhaar's association with Call of Duty. It's weird because, like, I'm not overly sad. I'm actually kind of happy thinking back to the memories and stuff, but it's absolutely brutal, man. I mean, we just had the Modern Warfare 3 live reveal event, and this is an absolute bomb to drop after all of that stuff just happened. There's also a statement from Treyarch regarding David Vonderhaar's departure. They had said, "Farewell to the legendary David Vonderhaar, whose discipline, creativity, and innovation helped shape our games from COD 2 Big Red 1 to Black Ops Cold War. His iconic phrases and groundbreaking ideas will be missed. Excited for your next adventure. Hashtag thank you, Vaughn." Now, something else that could be pretty interesting to discuss regarding all of this stuff about David Vonderhaar leaving Treyarch is whether or not he's actually going to have any involvement or any credits in the next Treyarch Call of Duty game. From what we know, Treyarch has been working on Call of Duty 2024 for quite a bit now. They have been assisting the other studios with their projects by, you know, supplying some help here and there, especially when it comes to zombies. But since David Vonderhaar was considered to be a top-level senior employee at Treyarch, it's going to be really interesting to see whether or not he's credited on this next game, and to see what kind of involvement, if any, that he had with this next Treyarch Call of Duty game. Man, it is just like crazy. I feel like there's a lot of memories and nostalgia flooding in when I think about David Vonderhaar. The first time that I can really remember associating David Vonderhaar with Call of Duty was actually around the time of Black Ops 2. Now, I know obviously he's been working on things for a lot longer than that. I mean, he was actually a combat training bot in Black Ops 1, and I think he might have been actually shown off in some of like the, kind of like those Black Ops 1 dev videos where they're discussing multiplayer. I think he might have been in some of those, but David Vonderhaar definitely had like a much bigger and more influential role in Call of Duty around the time of Black Ops 2. And if I'm not mistaken, I think around the time of Black Ops 2, that's when David Vonderhaar stepped in as the community manager for multiplayer on Black Ops 2. And I feel like that's when people really started to know his name, and whenever something was good or bad with Black Ops 2, they would always, you know, either praise Vondy for the good things that he did, or, you know, I think one of the worst moments of Black Ops 2 was when the DSR was nerfed and the community actually sent him death threats. And looking back, it's kind of insane to think that he actually stuck through it. Like, he was getting so much shit online just because of a sniper rifle being nerfed in Black Ops 2. And he stuck with us. Like, he stuck with Treyarch, and he was continuing to work on Call of Duty and Black Ops games. He stuck around for Black Ops 3, 4, and Cold War. After having to deal with so much shit from this community, I mean, honestly, that's pretty admirable. Oh my god, dude. One of my favorite memories from David Vonderhaar when it came to, like, Black Ops 3, I think it might have been around the time of the beta, or maybe even earlier. I remember there was, like, a live stream. Vondy was live streaming Black Ops 3. I think it might have been on Twitch. And I think he was playing on evac. It's the map where you can wall run across the entire map, at least if you're, like, insanely good at using the exo movement. And while Vondy was streaming, he fell off the map and died so many times, dude. It was hilarious. I don't know if I'll be able to find that footage in time for this video, but dude, it was so funny. But one of the best memories that I actually have about David Vonderhaar, as far as it goes for, you know, Call of Duty, was Black Ops 4. Weirdly enough, like, you guys know that I'm not the biggest fan of Black Ops 4, but I was invited out to the Black Ops 4 multiplayer reveal events, or it might have just been everything, because, you know, the whole game is multiplayer only. I was invited out to an event, and I remember seeing Vondy up on the stage talking about Black Ops 4, and you really could just see the passion, like his drive and how much he cared about Call of Duty. It was insane. Even though I'm not personally the biggest fan of Black Ops 4, I know a lot of people are, and it's thanks to people like David Vonderhaar that games like that could turn out to be, you know, some of their favorites. I mean, shit, dude, World at War, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, and Black Ops 3 are some of my all-time favorite Call of Duty games. They're insanely good games, and I have amazing memories on them thanks to David. But speaking of Black Ops 4, I feel like that was a really turbulent time for Vondy because he was pouring so much time into trying to make Black Ops 4 the best game that it possibly could be. At that time, Call of Duty was heavily competing with Fortnite. Like, Fortnite was dominating at that time, and they were trying to get things on track. They needed a game that was going to be able to keep up with the pace and try to have Fortnite not completely take over Call of Duty and take over things. Now, one could argue that Fortnite absolutely still won and was dominating that year regardless, which they really were. My memory might be a little hazy on this, but I just remember Vondy having some tweets that were, like, not necessarily questionable, but I remember around that time, it just seemed like he was working so hard, like actually overworking himself. And I think he ended up like having to kind of delete a bunch of tweets and kind of step back from things at Treyarch. I think I might have had a video on my channel talking about it around that time. I do apologize if this video is all over the place or kind of unstructured. I mean, I'm recording this just kind of like as my initial reactions and impressions to this information. Okay, yeah, it was actually August 20th in 2019. I uploaded a video called Goodbye David Vonderhaar. Oh, it looked like he had some unusual tweets and he deleted his Twitter, at least according to the description of the video. I'm so glad I actually write descriptions because now I have like a brief little summary of what happened. There's an update and it says that he got his Twitter account back. Okay. Yeah, it looks like in this video I also apologize to Vondy for any kind of like jokes that might have gone too far in previous videos and things like that. Thankfully, the things that I said and did were nowhere near as bad as some of the things that other people in the COD community have said. Bro, in the description I said I hope that Vondy's mental health is okay and he will ultimately come back as a monster-sized DJ that will eventually destroy Fortnite and all other DJs, cause why not? Dude, what was this video? See, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, Vondy, he's just a lovable goofball. I really do feel like he's a big part of what made, you know, the different Black Ops games and a lot of other Call of Duty games just fun. And I'm genuinely sad to see him go. He's no longer going to be working on Call of Duty and he's not really going to be associated with it anymore. Dude, that 195 rapid fire questions about Call of Duty's blackout mode, that interview is legendary. I mean, there are so many great like little snippets that could be used from that I've obviously used in a lot of different Call of Duty videos. It was so funny, man. Vondy, we're gonna miss you. We really are. And before I close out this video, I do want to thank David Vonderhaar sincerely for all of the time, energy, and effort that he has put into the Call of Duty franchise over all of these years. It is truly incredible. David Vonderhaar, we salute you. You will be missed. And we're especially gonna miss the memes in Call of Duty. I mean, what's the DSR gonna be like in Black Ops 5?